Hello, everybody. This is Emmanuel Eliason coming to you today with another edition of Financial Breakthrough Academy. I am your financial educator here on this platform, providing some valuable financial information that has possibly ability to transform your finances. And as we know on this program, we let you know that this is an educational session. It's an opportunity for you to learn new financial concepts, apply them to your own finance, help somebody. If you do need professional advice, we do encourage you to seek a professional financial advisor, a CPA, tax attorney, somebody that can give you advice as you implement some of the concepts we teach on this educational platform. With that said, today I'm happy for us to discuss a very important topic. We've talked about it in the past, but I felt like we should go back to that subject of building your financial house. Basically, today we want to talk about the elements of building a strong financial house. Okay, so let's get down to it. It's important, as you all know, besides what we do here from the financial education standpoint, we do value the importance of biblical concept and the content that helps us all. So we begin our sessions on giving us some biblical reasons why we do what we do. So today we are referring to Proverbs chapter 24, verse 3 and 4. It talks about this. By wisdom a house is built, and by understanding it is established, and by knowledge the rooms are filled with all precious and pleasant riches. Amen. So with that passage of scripture, we can tell that it's important as we build a house, we build our lives, we build our families. We need wisdom. Wisdom cannot be obtained from a regular educational curriculum or can be obtained from our own understanding. Wisdom comes from God. Wisdom comes from above. And we are told here in this passage of scripture that wisdom enables us to truly get our house built, established, filled up with good things and pleasant riches, precious and pleasant riches. As we go through this session, it's my prayer that we learn something that help us in building our financial house into the level that we want it to be. So let's get down to it. There are a few elements that we have to consider. The first of it is what I call desire. It's so important that we understand that any kind of financial house you want to build, any kind of financial life that you envisage for your own family, it cannot be done out of the blue. We need to have a burning desire in our heart to see that happen, that which has been put in our heart, in our soul, in our spirit. That is the first element that we have to understand that we need to get. And we get it truly, through the eyes of faith, believing that this is possible, that whatever our financial situation is, if we want to build a strong financial house for our family, for our future, for our communities, we have to do it believing, having that strong desire that this is possible. It is possible to experience that financial house built strongly on a foundation that can never be torn down. So that's the first element we want to address. The second element is a decision. It's all good when we have that desire in our heart, but it has to come from the soul, from the spirit realm into a concrete, well thought out decision, action to make that change in our financial lives. It doesn't matter how our desire is, it doesn't matter how we wish to have our financial health turn around. If we do not have that decision made, intellectually, intentionally make that decision to see a change in our finances, it will only stay in the superficial desire in our heart, in our spirit, in our soul, never able to manifest itself. So another element there, the second element, is having that concrete decision. Sometimes it may be that you have to sit down with your own family, if you're married, with your spouse, trying to talk through exactly what it's going to take for you to be able to see that financial life in your household turn around and transform. So again, the first thing is to have that desire, and number two, to be able to make a decision to see the financial house built in a strong way for yourself. So these are the two things. The third element of it is, let's go back to it, is the ability again to have what I call determination. You know that it doesn't matter the endeavor that you want to undertake. Every endeavor, including financial endeavor, building a financial house, you will face some challenges. We will all face some difficulties, some roadblocks, some obstacles. Name it, you will face it. But it is the level of determination that you have, the tenacity that you have for yourself, for your family, for your future. That is what will keep you through the tough times. Okay, so then it's very simple. Number one, we have that desire in our heart to see our financial future change, our financial health built. And then number two, we are determined to make a decision, a concrete decision to see that happen in our lives. And the third element here is having that determination that no matter what happens, I will stay the course, be willing to make the necessary corrections and changes, and see the house I want to see, my financial house, built to the extent to which I wanted to see it built. So these are the three core elements from much more philosophical standpoint and spiritual standpoint. Now I want us to look on a more practical area. What are the elements? What are the key elements that constitute building a financial house? So with that, let's take a look at this important graph here. Now, hopefully you can see it well. You may want to blow up your screen if you cannot. But as I kind of walk through this, I want you to walk with me very gradually. It looked like kind of a pyramid, okay? A pyramid showing you some of the key elements of being able to build a financial house, a strong financial house. Now, it doesn't matter our level of education, our background, where we come from. These things truly constitute some of the key elements that will enable us to build a strong financial house for ourselves. Now, let's go through them one by one, beginning from the very bottom of this chart here. So you see now it's talking about financial foundation. So as you know, architects and those who are experts in the area of actual building and construction will tell you that the height to which a building will go is dependent on the depth of the foundation. Okay, so then as we start to build our financial house, our financial future, there is a foundation that we have to lay, a very strong foundation. And that foundation includes some basic element. It starts, I believe, the foundation starts with education. Willing to educate ourselves, being willing to learn new things. I know the subject of finances can be sometimes intimidating. It sounds like this is over my head. How do I really understand these things? These people have lenders, the gurus, and all that. And sometimes it can be discouraging for an average person. But I do encourage you to take some time and really see how you can learn. It doesn't matter, the very little things you can learn about your financial life, building the foundation through education. For example, with this program we have here, Financial Breakthrough Academy, if you make time and listen to it and watch it and over and over again, and other books or resources that is out there, you will be able to now build your intellect in the area of finance. It helps you because it's to the extent to which we are knowledgeable, we have the information that it enables us to make informed decision whenever we are faced with any type of financial situation that we are dealing with. So the foundation we are building, again back to the chart, the first piece of it is truly educating ourselves. Today there are a lot of resources. Again, what we are doing is part of it. You go to the library, you take a little magazine or some classes. A lot of communities have several classes going on. In fact, those of us who are in the body of Christ, we hold educational sessions in churches and all of that. I wanted to take time and participate so we can increase our knowledge and have that information we need. And on top of that, now you have things like on the left hand side of the screen, you see budgeting. Now, again, this is something that a lot of us we do not really take time to do, but simply listing what is coming in our household and what is going out will go a long way to help us lay that foundation and build a house, our income stream. What kind of income are we getting? Is it a regular, every 2 weeks or every month? Are we actually being paid just on a commission basis? Are we on some kind of a contract, 6 months renewable contract? What kind of budget do you have? What is it? That's one side of it, the income, and also the expenses. What expenses do we have in our household? We are all different. We all have different needs, so our expense may not be the same for everybody on the block. That's why it's important not to compare ourselves to other people. Bible tells us, do not compare yourself to one another. It's not wise. So let's have a budget of our own that fits our family, that makes sense for our family. We have what we call your net worth. Your net worth is basically showing you what you as an individual or as a family is worth from a financial standpoint. And that includes a little bit more than just what your income is. It may include your house, other assets you may have. They all form part of what your net worth is. And they come from all the documents we have that carry this information. It's part of the huge financial plan that we may have for ourselves, for our family, as we delve into this. You have elements that talks about several areas of our lives that truly can make a huge difference. So again, we are trying to address some of the basic elements of our financial house. What is it that will constitute part of the key elements of our financial house? Okay, so the net worth is one. We have talked about the budget. We talk about goals, our financial goals. On the side that says financial plan, your goals. Again, as a family, you may have goals, the kind of income you want to earn. A lot of us, we've never thought about, okay, how much am I going to worth by the time I retire? Whether it's at 65, 67, 70, whatever age we choose to retire, not to be actively working. What goals we have, what financial goals we have. Maybe you just got married. What are the financial goals you have? Okay, so that also is an element of part of your financial plan there in the foundational side of it. We have financial records, keeping tab of the various financial assets we have on record, whether it's documents, whether it be wills or other bank statements, some kind of deed you have, your mortgage deed. These are important financial elements that form part of our financial plan. So on one side, we are talking about the basic foundation is educating ourselves. You have the budget, you have your net worth, you have your goals, you have your records. All of that together is one piece of it. The other piece of it, as you see there in the purple, is what we call the insurance piece of it. When you get all these resources, the income, the assets, and all the net worth, it's important for us to find a way to protect it so that we don't get in a situation whereby what we've earned or worked so hard for over the years is taken away because of some life event that may happen. Again, as Christians and believers, if you are, we believe in His protection, God's protection, His grace. However, if we are being attacked for whatever reason from a spiritual standpoint, and we have a physical infirmity or health issues or some kind of a life event, even maybe our property, goes through some challenges. These days, natural phenomena like hurricanes and fire and all that tend to demolish people's houses in different places. So we need to have proper insurance in place. From there, you have what we call, as you see it, in a little bit deep green on the screen, it talks about short-term holds. Now, that's basically money that might be needed within the next 3 to 6 years. Okay, sometimes even less. A lot of time we try to say, hey, within the next 3 to 6 months, for example, 1 year, liquid assets that we can have real access to immediately, quickly as possible. That becomes your next stage of building that financial house. That becomes that next level whereby you are at a place knowing that, okay, based on your personal situation, you have this amount of resources, liquid assets that you can lay your hands on at any point in time. It's so interesting that a lot of times we don't think about how much assets we have in terms of short-term holds, cash. We are talking about cash here, money that is disposable to us when we need it immediately without having to, go through all the loops and hoops trying to figure out. So we are discussing here as a place whereby your resources, the short-term hold, the cash disposable to your family, 3 to 6 months, maybe a year. Sometimes people go to 3 years, liquid assets. But we have to do it on a systematic basis, putting the money away little by little, allowing it to accumulate over time that we can access it. It doesn't matter the vehicle you use, to keep the money liquid. Obviously, there are different options out there, but whatever option that you choose based on what your advisor, provides for you, you want to have that liquid asset that you can have access to immediately as soon as possible without having to go through all the loops and hoops. So again, as we lay the foundation, let me go back to the chart. As we lay the foundation and the purple there, okay, you are talking about records, building on it, your education, you are having, and now you have opportunity to be able to provide the records, your goals, your finances. You are protecting yourself with some insurance, and then now you're building liquid assets, short-term holds. And then you have the next light green that says medium-term hold, and that's basically money that we may not need it the next 3 to 5 years. And some of the vehicles that this kind of asset or resources can be in building our financial house. It's something like bonds or other assets that have low returns but fairly low risk in terms of potential to lose that money. Okay, so that is when now you have the opportunity to invest some of your money in that bucket or resources available to us. And then you go next to the next on the pyramid there, the graph is the stocks we call long-term holds. Over here, there is huge risk, okay, potential to lose money. However, it has potential, the ability to provide return. Now, as you see there's an arrow that shows us one side of the arrow telling us the increasing risk, the arrow pointing upwards, and the arrow pointing downwards says decreasing risk. All that it's saying is that the higher you go on this chart, on the type of vehicle you use, the higher the risk of potential losing money. Now, again, there is potential also to have high return. Is that right? And the lower you go on that graph there, it shows you the decrease in the risk becomes with less potential return. Nonetheless, each one of us has his or her own what we call your financial risk tolerance, and we've dealt it in the past. We may pick it up again. In other words, are you in a financial position to invest in a risky alternative asset? How comfortable are you in losing some of your resources with the hope of gaining more? Is that right? All of that plays into it. Again, things like your time horizon. How long are you interested in leaving your money in a place to let it grow over time so you can have access to it when you need it the most? How liquid are you? In other words, how much actual cash do you have disposable for your basic need? Food, clothing, shelter, other basic needs in the family. What are your financial goals overall? How flexible are you in dealing with things like inflation risk, the risk of prices going up and down, and the type of account you have that may be able to accommodate it because the interest rate is at higher level or lower level. No matter your personal goal, all of that will go a long way to truly give you a sense of what to expect in building the financial house. So Today, the goal is just to provide us a quick overview of how to the elements involved in building a strong financial house. And I started by saying that truly it begins by educating ourselves, making time to learn what it takes to be financially free. Knowledge, we are told, they say, is power. Yes, it is true. If you know, Scripture tells us, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. For those of us who are Christians and know the Bible and all of that. In fact, it does not only limit to spiritual things. It also applies to practical areas in our lives like finances. The more we know, the more we are able to make informed decisions and minimize the risk involved in making our decisions whenever we have to. So we start off again by educating ourselves, building goals, financial plans, protecting what we have with insurance and other instruments of risk management, and then beginning to save some more and invest in other medium risk assets and ultimately some high risk assets depending on our own financial goals, risk tolerance, and other factors that play into that. Okay, so that is in a nutshell what it takes. Again, that's the graph that you may take a snapshot of it on your phone or on your iPad, wherever you're watching, for future review. However, it's important. The bottom line is let us make some time and study, learn, expose ourselves, discuss, and make sure that we are at a place of positioning ourselves for success in the area of finance. It's not that hard if we put our heart to it to learn and to expose ourselves. We can do it. It's possible. And we have to make effort in doing this same. So with that said, I know many of us may have questions, how do I learn more, find out more, do more about this? Truly speaking, most of you know, if you don't, we really make ourselves available in the community, no matter which part of the United States, to provide free financial education, literacy classes, and teaching seminars, workshop for groups of people, whether in a church, a community gathering. In fact, it can be in your own house with one or two other neighbors, do a pizza financial pizza party or something like that. Just come, we provide a pizza for you and provide education at no cost to help you, enlighten yourself and make decisions that will position you and your family for great things. So I'll leave you with this few resources that I believe may be of a value to some of us. If you can take your phone and text the word easy faith, easy FAITH, easy faith to the number 474747. I have a resource I will be happy to share with you just to help you, continue expanding your knowledge in the area of financial education. So you can type again, text the word easy faith, easy FAITH to the number 474747, and it will reply to you with some financial education that you can article, you can read some more on and improve yourself. Now, if you want to reach out to us, for any occasion to maybe implement this in your life or any financial need you may have, whether it is trying to save for future for your kids, retirement income. Maybe you're a business owner. You don't have a 401k from an employer, and you're all self-employed. You want a way to be able to start saving money and building a strong future. We have programs that can help you to make that decision practical. Call us 720-588-9717. Go to eliasonsconsult.com or inbox us. We'll be happy to share what we have with you to make your financial decision as viable as you want it to be. Well, brothers, this has been Emmanuel Eliason, the certified financial educator, coming to you here on this program, Financial Breakthrough Academy. Today's topic was on elements of building a strong financial house. I trust you've learned something you can implement in your life. Don't hesitate to reach out to us so we can be of help as much as we can for you. Any of the information we've shared, again, it's important to sit down with a financial advisor, a trusted attorney, or tax CPA, somebody that you can be able to implement these ideas. Don't go it all by yourself so you can avoid mistakes. With that said, I'll leave you for now. I'll be back very soon for another edition of Financial Breakthrough Academy. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Oh yeah.